Okay.
Hey, everybody. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome to our migraine strategy call. My name is Debbie Waidl. I am a certified migraine health coach specialist here to help you find a way to end your migraines without having to use all those pills, all the quick fixes, all of those tricks that everyone's trying to get you to figure out what that one magic thing is that you need to do to end your migraines. We know that to be able to actually put a dent in your migraines and reduce that severity, duration, and frequency, that we really need to get to the root cause. And that's what we do in this group. We actually help you figure out what that root cause of your migraines are so that you can actually get back to living your life and doing all the things that you haven't been able to do that migraines have stolen from you. So we are here today on our strategy call with Sue. I am so excited to have Sue join us today. Sue, thanks for being here. What, 10
Sure.
days before Christmas?
Right.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
We both wore the green to
Right.
celebrate, which is amazing. So before we get started, let me just double check over here and make sure that we are streaming live to the right group. Perfect. Looks like Facebook. I always like to check tech. You just never know. So anybody who's watching, please let us know where you're watching from. I am in Rochester, New York, and you probably can't hear it in the background because I have my headphones in, but we are going between snow, sleet, and rain. Like every 10 minutes it's changing. So we have beautiful weather here right now today. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about Sue before we get started so that everyone knows who we're chatting with. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Hey, Lisa. Lisa is over watching, and Lisa just took the plunge today. Lisa is now a new member of the Freedom from Migraine Method Complete. We are so excited to have her as part of our group and cannot wait to support her freedom. So Lisa, I'm glad you are here today. Hey, Brenda. All right, so back to Lisa. Lisa has been married for 33 years to a very supportive husband. She has 2 kids, 2 grandkids, and you've been working in the restaurant business for the same family for 35 years. Holy cow, Sue, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yes.
Amazing. Oops, looks like my headphones died. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Looks like my headphones died. Hold on, let me just I think it's because I touched my phone. Can you hear me, Sue?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I'm not going to touch anything else. We'll just keep it this way. So Sue said that these people that she's working with, they're like her second family. You love shopping, antiquing, and gardening, and you've gone from 15 plus migraines a month down to 1 or 2 headaches a month. And you said that you say that they're headaches because that severity and duration are nothing like you were experiencing before. So that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's nice. I remember when I had my first meeting with you, you said, do you want to be migraine free by Christmas? And I said, yes. So you were absolutely right.
I love it. I love it. And I know one of the first things, or one of the things that you wrote up for me, which I love to share, is that you followed me on social media for quite a long time. I think it was over a year before you even decided to have a chat with me. And one of the things that you were thinking in your mind was, why would you want to talk to me? Because how could I possibly know more than what your doctors know? Do you feel that in the program that you learned so much more than what your doctors were sharing with you?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yes. I mean, they just put you on medication. They don't tell you how to work through it. And
Yeah.
I just recently went to my doctor and I said, some of the things I read on your walls, because they have posters on the wall. And I said, she's taken this and she's made a program out of it. And she works with you and she works through it with you. And I said, that's the difference. You're putting me on medication, but she's working with me. So
yeah. And all these doctors that are so well-meaning, and I know I say this, all the time, they just don't have the time either, right? They don't have the time to sit down and coach you and walk you through the 6 different key areas of inflammation that we work on. I'm sure a lot of them wish they could, but especially in the US, I don't know about everywhere else, but we have such a shortage of doctors. You can wait 6 months to even get in to see somebody, depending on where you are. So for them, the easiest thing to do is to hand you a medication that's going to hopefully manage your pain, but not end it. So, all right, well, let's backtrack a little bit so everybody has a little idea of your history. Do you mind kind of sharing your migraine journey? When did your migraine start, and what did you do over the time before you actually met us and decided to work in the Freedom from Migraine method?
Um, my migraine started probably in my teens, I would say. And I did, I took medication. I took a preventative every day for years. And I would say about 10 years ago, I do remember it was 10 years ago. My son was a senior in high school, and it just accelerated just on high. And that's when I started with more medications. I went on the Relpex and the Inderal and, whatever they could give me.
Mhm.
And then I went to Botox. And as of right now, I'm still on the shots. I have not gotten off of those, but yes. And, the ice packs and a heating pad and all of that. My mom suffered from migraines, and my sister. The only difference in theirs and mine were way more frequent than theirs were.
Mhm.
They still had the intense migraines. I can remember as a young teenager or even in my 20s, taking my mom to the ER to get a shot. So definitely runs in the family, but yeah.
Absolutely. There's definitely a genetic component, right? For many of us there is, but I think so many times our doctors kind of lock us into that fact of when there is that genetic component that's our, that's kind of what we're stuck with, that we
Right.
have to live with them because it's genetic. But
Mhm.
you're here today showing that that's not the case.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel so much better. Even my
absolutely.
family, my coworkers, everybody notices it. It's very
That's the
apparent.
best, right?
Yes.
That's the best
Yep.
because we do spend so much time hiding how we feel that a lot of the times we do a halfway decent job of hiding it from people. They don't even know the severity of our migraines or how often we're having them. So when somebody actually notices that you feel better, that you look
Right.
better,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
it's
When
such a
when you
nice feeling.
say when you say you have a headache or I have a migraine, they're like, oh, like it's not a big deal. It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you can tell the people that haven't had migraines, right? The ones that have had
Right.
headaches and think that
Yep.
those are migraines, it's a different kind of pain. And not that they're not well-meaning. They just don't understand. It would
Right.
be like a man trying to understand what it's like to give childbirth. There's no way possible for them to have a full understanding.
Yep. Exactly.
So when you did have migraines, did you find that they did impact your days a lot? Like there were a lot of things that you weren't able to do or weren't able to enjoy when you had pain?
Um, when I had migraine pain at home, yes, because I would go so far and then I would go to bed.
Hmm.
When I was at work, I pushed through. I used to wait on customers or go write a schedule for the week and then go in the office and sit with an ice pack on my head for 5 minutes, then come back out and do something else. And just, so at work, I pushed through. At home, I would push through to a certain point and then I would say, I've had enough and I had to go lay down. So, and I think that's part of the problem. You just keep pushing and pushing and pushing yourself, you know? So,
Yeah. And as we've learned, that pushing actually increases the inflammatory load in our body. And for those of you that are brand new to this group and haven't had time to look around or haven't had time to watch any of all of the free resources that we have for you in the guide section, please let us know if there's something specific you're looking for. I'll have a member of the team help you, whether that's Valentina or Melissa or Kathy or somebody in the group. Know that all of these migraines are stemming from chronic inflammation. And when we push through, and when we push our body past its limits, we are actually increasing that inflammation in the long term, causing more migraines. So we think, you did it, Sue, I did it. I can't tell you how many
mhm,
days I pushed through. You take an Advil, you take another medication, you use some ice, you put your head down for 5 minutes and you're like, all right, I have to go. I have to do this.
right.
And unfortunately, all we're doing is making our body more unhealthy. So Anybody watching right now or anybody on the replay, let me know. Does that sound like you? Is that something that you do that you actually push through and kind of live with that pain? It is something I hear quite often. Well, I'll work on my migraine freedom next year when the kids are off to school because I can just push through. It's okay. I can just push through. But sadly, that pushing through is going to make it more challenging for you to end your migraines. And it's going to start causing other health conditions. Because let's face it, inflammation is at the root of all chronic illness. So, hey, Valentina, and Terry's on, and Camille's on. Look at everybody watching Sue over there. If you have any questions for Sue, make sure you pop them in the chat below. So let's fast forward a little bit. So that's how you felt then. Those were the things that you weren't able to do. You had to kind of stop doing things at home, end earlier than what you'd want to do. Maybe you had a hard time at work. How is your life different now? How does life look different now that you don't have to do those things anymore?
Oh, it's great. It's great. And if I do get a headache or my head just starts to hurt, I'll use the tools that I learned and I'm good. I'm good. Give me 10 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. I'm good. You just have to stop and use it. You have to stop and use those tools. There's no more pushing through. You do it immediately and you're good to go. So yeah. I feel great.
Who wouldn't like that? 15 minutes to be able to stop a migraine in its tracks if it does come. And the longer that Sue continues her healing process, the less and less, these will even crop up. Like you did mention, Sue, that you're still on, the one injection, because it takes time. When you take medication, when you do injections, when you do Botox, the first step that we help women with is getting their body ready to be able to stop those medications. You don't want to stop them first, right? Because I'm sure if I told you, Sue, okay, you got to stop all your medications and then start this program, you would have been like, bye-bye.
Right. Right.
You need something to be able to sadly push through, to be able to do the things you need to do in a day. But then once your body's ready, then you can slowly start weaning off of medications and weaning off of what you need. And that's what Sue's working towards now, is now that she's nice and healthy, just figuring out, okay, are there any other little areas we need to tweak? Anything that we need to make sure that we're doing, and then we can slowly start going off those meds. So is that the only one that you're on right now, Sue? I can't remember. Just the injection that you're doing right now?
I still take my preventative in the morning. And I do take, actually, my doctor said I could go off my amitriptyline. I only take a 10 milligram. He said so I'm going to discontinue that probably this week. I'm going to start like weaning myself slowly off of it. So yeah. So,
how does that feel?
It feels great. Yeah, definitely.
Were you one of the ones that actually felt an impact from the amitriptyline? Like many people feel tired, groggy.
Yes, I was never on a high dosage. I was on like two 10 milligram pills a night.
Okay.
And then about a year ago, I went down to one, and now he said, I don't even see a need for it. So yeah, definitely.
That's great. What has your doctor said about this whole process, and how you're feeling now in comparison to a year ago?
So my MD is a female and she loved it.
Okay.
She thought it was great. She's very understanding. I'm a neurologist. I just seen last week or the week before. And I told him about, the program and how I was following it. And he immediately went to his phone and said, what's her name? And he's like, wait a minute. What are you telling me? Couldn't we just like do this in a library somewhere? He talks really fast and he's just like all popping all over the place. And I'm like, not really. So they were both, she was more understanding, but he was like, wait a minute, what, so.
Thinking that it's just something you can pick up and learn on your own and just do it by yourself.
Right. No, definitely not. Definitely not. And that was if I would have started this program so much sooner than I did, but like you said, if I have any advice for anybody, don't do what I did. Don't wait for a year. Debbie's sincere. Her program works. Go with it. Go with it, because nothing is worse than a migraine.
But it is hard, and
It is hard.
I 100% understand that, every single woman that's sitting in this group right now is fearful,
Mhm.
fearful that I'm not going to be able to help, fearful that they're not going to be able to do the work, that you're not going to be able to make the changes, and really fearful that you try one more thing and you've got one more thing behind you that fails. Because nobody wants that, right? We don't want to
No,
lose hope. We
no,
don't want to lose hope.
we don't.
So I
I
get it.
did, go ahead. I did, write in one of my, I'm not sure which one it was, but I remember I prayed to God to take these headaches away. And, and I said, Debbie was my answer. She didn't, I did the work, but you were my answer. I honestly feel that, he sent me you for a reason, and it worked.
That's so sweet. I am so blessed every day to be able to see the results. It's so
Mhm.
sad when I meet you ladies because I know how much pain you're in. I can see it on your faces. And it makes me feel horrible that you've had to go through all those years. But then when I get to have days like today, I mean, I have goosebumps when I sit here and talk to you all because it's amazing to see the difference in you, the difference in how you can actually go and live your life now and hopefully share, and as you are today, sharing this information with other women so that they don't have to go through the same thing, whether that
Right.
be them working with me, working with somebody else. I don't care. You need someone who's going to coach you step by step. And I think you kind of just mentioned that, Sue, that, there's a big difference between picking up something and reading it and having someone that's going to help you tailor a program to fit you.
Right.
I mean, when you were in the program, I think there was probably 60 people in there, and each one of you is doing something a little bit different.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
makes sense.
foundational approach still the same. The foundation is still there, but each
Mhm.
one of you is doing something a little bit different. Brenda's saying, Sue, I feel the same way about FFMM program, a gift from God that I truly feel He gave me to have the life He has created for me. Aw, thank you,
Yeah.
Brenda. Melissa says, I love that, Sue. Valentina says, that's so sweet. Terry, I used to push through, but thanks to Freedom from Migraine Method, I don't anymore. Yes. Oh, and Melissa, she used to run into the restroom and do an injection in her leg and then run back out and keep going. Oh,
Oh,
Melissa, I'm so glad that we're helping you so that you don't have to keep doing that anymore. That is no way to live.
no,
That is
no,
no
it's
way to
not.
live.
No.
So how does it feel knowing that you're 10 days from now, we're going into Christmas and this is going to be a totally different Christmas than last year?
It feels great. December's always been a hard month for me because I stress. I've always stressed.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do. I
Yep.
put things off, and then so this. I mean, I've already like this month. I've told myself just the simple things like, okay, I'm going to wrap as I shop. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing that. I'm going to bake if I have time. And then my daughter and I got together last Sunday, and we made cookies, and it was just so nice that I wasn't stressing about I got to do, I've got to make this kind, this kind, this kind. I feel so much better this year at this, at Christmas time already.
I love it. So you're going to enjoy it so much more because now you know what's important to you in your world
Hmm.
and what you can let go of so you can keep your health.
Exactly. And I would tell people too, don't put it off, because I think I told you I had several weddings this past summer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went I had two nieces and a nephew that got married, and I went to the weddings, and one, we had to travel, and I still worked on my program through
Mm-hmm.
that. I didn't miss out on anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just worked. I just took the program with me. I worked through it. Even with my, when you're eating meals and eating out, I just worked the program.
I love that. And you actually just gave me the perfect segue. So for those of you out there right now who are saying Christmas is coming, there's no way I want to start this program now. I'm going to wait till after January 1st. Right now, for any of you who get on a call with us and who qualify for one of the programs, because we need to make sure that you're the right fit. For anyone that actually qualifies, you're going to get the rest of December on me. So if you decide and we decide that you're a good fit and you're going to start, you can start the program now. But if you want, you can wait till January 1st. We're still having you in there. You still have access to everything. So there's zero excuse to put it off. And as Sue said, you really don't even need to worry about me giving you the free time anyway, because it is so doable, right? 15, 20 minutes a day. You do it in the car, you do it in the shower, you can do it while you're walking the dog, whatever the case may be. You don't have to worry about being stuck in front of a screen for hours a day doing learning to be able to make the changes you need to make. And, Sue and I aren't sitting here trying to give you a BS story saying it's simple, but, like that it's easy and it just happens with the wave of a magic wand, but it is 100% doable. 100% doable.
Absolutely.
I mean, if Sue can do it going through 3 weddings,
yeah,
I don't think there's anybody else in here that can't do it as well. So ladies, let me know, do you have any final questions? We're going to wrap up here in just a moment so that we honor anyone's time. So if you have any questions, and if you are watching on the replay, because I do know everyone's work schedules for the next couple of weeks are crazy. So a lot of people will be watching on the replay. Just give us a hashtag replay in here, put your questions in, and we'll make sure that we keep an eye on this post. You can tag Valentina or tag myself, and we'll make sure you get those answers. But Sue, again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to share your story with everyone. You've really given them some great golden nuggets. Don't wait, put yourself first. Is there anything else that you'd like the women to know, the 3,700 women that are in the group right now that are saying, I can't spend money on myself, or I'm just going to try to fix my migraines on my own? Is there anything that you'd want to say to them?
I would say the support that you get from this group, you need. And you're always learning from this group. I learned something yesterday that I didn't know when I was listening to the coaching call. Last night, I learned something that I didn't know before. And I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know that. So there's, you need the support. You need this group.
Yeah. And I love our coaching calls for that. So for those of you who don't know, I mean, we have many ways we work with people, but in the Freedom from Migraine method, we do 2 coaching calls a week on top of having learning material. So the learning material is the same that everyone gets. That's our foundation that everyone works on. But in the coaching calls, we actually get a chance to talk to each and every one of you that work with me, that want to come on. And this is where a lot of the golden nuggets come, because we can really dive into each person. Sue can come to me and say, hey, I need to be working on X, but I'm working in a restaurant every day. How do I make this work within the restaurant? How do I make this work within my life? I'm not someone who's home and retired, or I'm not someone who's running around chasing 2 young kids. I am working. How do I do this? And the great thing about it is everyone else gets to hear all that information. If you are working with me as well, you get to learn from each other. So it's not just a team. And I keep saying a team of 10, but I think we're actually a team of 12 now. I think in the Balance Health Coaching is now a team of 12. We have 12 amazing women that are supporting each and every one of you. And the majority of these women have gone through the program, had migraines, have found their migraine freedom. So they know exactly what you're feeling. But the great thing is that all of those women can share their information so that you'll learn together. It's like, how they always say you need a village. It takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to find migraine freedom. And we have one pretty amazing village, because all of you women are so amazing and share with each other. I love it. All right, ladies, I think we're going to call that a day. Sue gave us so much to think about, so much to absorb. So Valentina says, thank you for sharing. Melissa says, thank you, and Merry Christmas. So I will just leave it with this, ladies. We're here. This is not a pressure situation. This is not, a group that we are trying to push you into doing something that you don't want to do, but this is a group of action. This is not a group where we're just sitting around waiting for migraine freedom. It's a group where we're saying, let's do this. You've had enough time that you've wasted with migraines. It is now time to move forward. It doesn't matter that it's Christmas, in 10 days. I had 2 new people join the Freedom from Migraine method today. 2 women who said enough is enough. It is time to end their migraines. So if you are ready to be one of those women, just let Valentina know. We'll get you in the schedule. And Sue, thank you. Thank you
You're
again for
welcome.
your time.
Thank
It is
you.
absolutely, it's an absolute pleasure. So make sure you keep us posted on how you're doing in the group and how your Christmas goes, okay?
Okay, well, thank you, Debbie.
Absolutely. Everybody, you have an amazing day. Let me just double check next week. Next week, we will have a migraine strategy call on Thursday, the 22nd. It is to be determined. I'm not exactly sure what we're doing next week, but if we don't have a live interview, we may have an amazing training for you. Plus, keep your eye posted in the group later on this afternoon. I'm going to announce a pop-up training that I'm thinking of doing. I just need to make sure I have enough interest. And if I do, I'll spend some time putting it together today for all of you for the holidays. All right, everybody, here's to your migraine-free day. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.